Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Alberto, aka Destroyer Food, aka Subscribe Food, aka Subscribe for Nuts, ha ha ha. aka I have a trillion channels, aka I'm the ghost of the most. Doesn't make sense, but sounds pretty damn good. Alright, if you're here for the review of the 1986 film Platoon, you are in the right place. If you like my videos, please like, subscribe, and share. Alright, let's get into it. Before I start, I try to make like all of this like the scenery in the back you have the tank and the helicopter and all that. I try to make the scenery like you were there. Okay, like you were there. I did the best I can to put the scenery that you're there. So let's jump into it. We are there. We're in Vietnam. It says starring Charlie Sheen as Chris Taylor. Now, so it starts off Chris Taylor and actually Garner and some other soldiers have just arrived from they've been transported to Vietnam from the United States, and it's a really cool part because there's some soldiers that pass by. They're like, "You're gonna love the Nam forever" and all that stuff. It's kind of like saying like, and there's like a side joke like, "Hey, you're gonna suffer here, man. People are dying here," and they do see like this this transport little thing is carrying dead bodies, so they're like scared already. Um, then it shows that they're on patrol with a, I think it's more, it might be a platoon or more, looks like more soldiers, and they're suffering. Um, Taylor himself, he's like, he's struggling. It's very hot. Gardner's struggling too. Um, Taylor goes down, and he has bites all over him. And then his sergeant Elias. By the way, there's a lot of characters in here. I'm gonna say as many as I can. But his one of his sergeants Elias says you're hauling too much stuff, and it's because Chris Taylor he has a bunch of books and stuff that he carried around, and then Elias is like you don't need half of this stuff. They send Gardner to the front to take Taylor's spot. Taylor has a whole bunch of ants all over him, and then the medic says, "Yeah, here, drink some water, and don't drink too much. Don't drink too much. I don't want you cramping up." And then they pick up Taylor to get up, and he falls back down. After that, they show, they're done with that, and they just showed up in patrol in Vietnam. But after that, they show it was one of my favorite scenes. Um, they show this place like a mountain or something. They're camped out there. They have a helicopter come in, and they tell them to go down. I love the Huey helicopters. They're so cool. Um, then you're gonna meet Big Harold there, and I have to say he is a black soldier. I have to say black, not to be racist or anything, but and also Junior's there, another skinny black guy. I have to say that they're black because race does come into this somewhat. Um, and it's funny because the black soldiers are actually telling Chris to dig. He has to dig up foxhole, dig, dig, dig. So I find that kind of weird. I'm like, I thought, at that time and point, not to be racist, that the white man, I thought they would push him around, but the black soldiers are actually telling Chris, which is white, Gardner's white too, and tell him to, hey, keep digging. So he keeps digging, and it sounds like Taylor's talking to his grandma, like in like he's sending letters home or something. Now, they huddle up the I guess you could call them squad sergeants or whatever. There's Elias, and you're gonna meet Barnes, and then you're gonna meet Lieutenant Harris, and you got two other sergeants there. Barnes looks like he's running the show, and he's telling them what they're gonna do. He's saying that there's movement, that there's they got enemy movement. I think it's NVA National Vietnam the NVA National Vietnamese Army from the north. Those are the bad guys. You meet Sergeant O'Neill too. He's kind of like a brown noser. He's like a jerk, and they're saying they wanted O'Neill's men to go out on this. They're gonna do an ambush, and they want. And then O'Neill's like, "Nah, you got the fresh meat, buddy." That's saying that Elias has the new guys that they should go out there. Not to be catching up on their beauty sleep because they just arrived. So, and Lieutenant Harris is like, well, "Who do you want to ambush?" And and uh, and Sergeant Bart says, "Elias, get your men ready." But Sergeant Bart says, "O'Neill, you need to go," and then he needs Texan Junior. Well, I actually remember Texan Junior from his squad, so they're gonna send him with Elias' squad. So they're gonna get ready to go out on the ambush, and they're all lined up. And I like when they're gonna take off. They play that song, "Oh Susanna, oh don't you cry for me," but they sing it slow. Go to Alabama with a banjo. I mean, hope I don't get in trouble, get a strike for Blu-ray or or am I singing? So they're getting ready to go out. Before they go out, Barnes tells Taylor and Taylor and Gardner that don't scream out loud. If you're out there, if you get lost, we'll get to you. And he tells them the stuff they don't have to be taking. Taking like Chris Taylor took last time. He took books and all this. Now they're telling you like they got a shovel, throw it down. You don't need that stuff for the ambush, so they go out on the ambush. And they go at night, and they go where it's lightning, and it looks really cool. And then so they go somewhere in the jungle. They post up. They're gonna set up an ambush, and they're gonna take shifts and who's gonna stay up and all that. And it turns out now it's Taylor's turn to take his shift. They show him how to. They set up like detonators out in the jungle. He has a little remote, tell him not to take the safety off or whatever of it. So he's awake. He has a little telescope thingy, and then he gets, and then he goes to wake up Junior. Junior's on the patrol with him, and he's like, wake up, Junior, it's your shift, man." He's like, "Oh right, MF," and then Junior has his gun and he falls asleep. But Taylor went to go to sleep because it was Junior's shift, but Junior fell asleep. So Taylor is waking up by ants or biting his neck and all that, and then he puts a towel over his head. Um, then he spots some movement, and it's cool because the little telescope is like a pirate telescope. He's looking out, and he sees movement. You can see in the night and stuff like that because it's really dark. He sees movement, and it's like four enemy soldiers coming towards him, and they get closer and closer, and he's like scared. He has his towel over him, and you just hear boom, 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 boom. He's already pressing on that remote thingy that detonates the detonators. They start going out, and I think maybe it killed one, and then everybody starts shooting. The NBA starts shooting, and Taylor's squad starts shooting, and they start shooting and stuff. Tex, one of the soldiers, gets on the heavy machine gun and starts shooting, and then I didn't catch this part until I really caught it. I had to see it a whole bunch of times to see it. O'Neill is the one that gets a grenade and throws it, and it lands under Tex, which explodes on Tex and Tex and seriously wounds Tex. The grenade does. I don't know how he died, but he's yelling and yelling. We got Gardner. I see he gets up. He starts shooting. He starts shooting like this, and he gets shot. So Gardner gets shot. Taylor's and it's a little firefight that they got going on there, and then one of the Vietnamese enemy soldiers escapes. North Vietnamese soldier escapes, and Taylor says he's been hit on his back, his neck, Tex keeps screaming. Barnes gets them, puts his mouth on them, and take the pain, shut up, take the pain. So, and Gardner is dead, and it's really bad because when they look at Gardner's body, um, Barnes says, take a good look at this large, uh, fat piece of crap. And I'm being mean to him, even though he's dead. It's really bad. He's like, tag him and bag him. And he goes, and he also goes to Junior and Taylor, more looking at Taylor, you don't sleep on no freaking ambush. And then Chris says, um, he says, it wasn't me that fell asleep, Sergeant. It was Junior. And I think it's Bunny. I don't remember Bunny here. I think he's right there, right? And he says, I could be wrong. But Bunny said, there's a new soldier named Bunny, which is a really tough guy. He says, everybody has an excuse. O'Neill picks on Chris Taylor too. And then Eliza says, knock it off. We need people that need attention. And they call for Junior. And I forgot the other one to go pick up the body and all that. So they get out. They gotta get out of there. Chris Taylor has something in the back of his neck. He's been wounded, but very slight. That's funny because Big Harold, another soldier, he's another black soldier. He says they're gonna give you white sheets and they're just gonna come to you. And Junior says, "Don't be babying him." He fell asleep on the job when it was. Junior's the one lying. He's the one that fell asleep. And then they're walking out, and then Barnes and Elias, the sergeant, are walking out, and then Elias says, "You gotta live, live and stick around and learn something." Next day, it's daytime, and we got Chris Taylor is being dropped by a jeep on a base. And then he runs into his friend King. It's an older black gentleman, black soldier. And King is coming out with a whole bunch of beers, a case of beers. And Taylor's like, "Where'd you get those?" He goes, "Oh, I got it from something, whatever. They're always stealing from us anyways." And they're talking about O'Neill's group. And then O'Neill and another soldier called, I think it's Lerner. Yeah, Lerner. They're like, "Hey," he tells Taylor, "Hey, you just came in." Taylor's like, and then Chris Taylor's like, "Yeah, seems like it." And he's going, we're going on a report, son, right now." And no, what's it? I want to say Ed O'Neill. No, O'Neill, the sergeant says, "I got a job for you too." They go, and so they give him a job where they have a shack, a big kind of shack bathroom that they have to take the barrels out where I guess the poop's at from the soldiers where they poop in the shack. They have to take out these barrels that have poop and must stink really bad. And they're together with another soldier. And they're all taking them out, and they're suffering. They're just talking about stuff. And it sucks to be there. I'm talking about how many days you have to go in Vietnam because you do a tour of duty. I don't know, it's like a year or something tour. Then King says, "You know what? After we're done with this, I'm gonna introduce you to the rest of the guys." And you see Taylor. He's smoking, and the sun's going down. He's smoking. Well, I guess they burn the poop. I don't know how they do it. So later on, it becomes dark, and King is gonna introduce Chris Taylor to the rest of the group. They end up going to a bunker, kind of. It's underground. It's on top of sandbags, and they're hanging out there. He's gonna see Elias is there. He's gonna see Big Harold's there. All these other soldiers are there. Rot is there, another soldier. That guy kind of looks like Puerto Rican or Hispanic like myself. They're there and they're all smoking joints and everything. There's a guy with a black mask, and then there's a black soldier named Manny. He has his shirt off. He's like lifting some kind of wood that looks like a barbell kind of deal, lifting weights. They're just there chilling, and he sees Elias. Elias is like this, and Elias like in on a hammock. Well, I actually remember what a hammock is. And so he's introducing the guy. France is there, another black soldier. Um, I know it's hard to take note of all these names. Uh, it's funny because how does the king says it? They're like, "Hey, Chris," or Taylor, something like that. And it's like, "Taylor's been shot. This is Chris. He's been resurrected like Jesus. He came from the dead." Elias comes and says, "This is your first time." And he's offering him drugs, marijuana. He goes, "Here, put your mouth onto this." Gets a shotgun. He gets the shotgun. He goes, "Put your mouth on this." And then Chris, like, Elias goes into the barrel right here or whatever and blows the marijuana he's been smoking there. Then Chris, he sucks it up like, and and that's how he's getting his first hit of marijuana. And Elias is like, "How is it?" And it's like, feels kind of good. I don't feel any pain in my neck. And feeling good is good enough. After that, they're partying. They put on music and they're all high and drinking beers and they're. I like the song. I wish I tell a joke or two. Dun-dun-dun-dun. I guess it's a '60s song. It's a really good song. They're partying. They're showing their good times. They're partying. Two of the guys are even dancing. I think Elias is dancing with another guy. It's funny. They're like Francis and Harold. They get crazy. He doesn't want to dance, but they get him up and they start dancing together. It's pretty cool. Now, after that, they are back on patrol, and their patrol. They're all there. They're walking in the guns, and then Barnes he spots like a bunker. And Chris Taylor's there. Is like bunker, and Chris is like, Barnes says bunker, and Chris Taylor's like, where? They get the bunker, they tear it apart, and they find there's a place there where the they call them gook sometimes, which is a bad word for the NBA, but they call them that. They find like there's a steam pot and all that. They go investigate. I think they find some kind of hole, and they put a Elias to go in like a tunnel rat. So it's a hole where the tunnel is. So Barnes hands Elias a gun. Yeah, and clocks it, and Elias goes in the tunnel. They investigate. They're investigating the top while Elias goes in the tunnel in the bottom. At this time, Lieutenant Harris sends he goes, "Chris, you go over there, go walk over there, and go stand guard over there." And Washington, you go over there. Washington is gonna be Manny. I guess that's Manny's last name. So Manny goes over there, and he's like, they're both smoking in different places. So it turns out that two of the soldiers are investigating. They find a box with NVA maps and enemy maps, and they're like, one of them's like, "Let's get out of here. This is gook stuff, enemy stuff." The other soldier says, "This is important. This is important." He picks up the box, and an explosion goes off and blows both of them. One of them dies, and then one of them comes out with an arm like completely torn off, blown up. Everybody's startled. Even Elias hears it down in the tunnel. And the soldier with a torn off arm dies. Everybody's startled, and even it affects Barnes, who is supposed to be the toughest guy in there, but he's smoking a cigarette sitting down, and this is really bothering him because two of his soldiers just got blown up. So, also Manny is missing. Lieutenant Harris had sent Manny out on a cup just to go some yards away, and Manny is missing. and everybody's like Manny and everything. And when the explosion goes off, everybody's scared. O'Neill's freaking out. He's starting to push the soldiers around, like hurry up, get up, and get ready to move out or whatever. So they get up and they go. Some of them go look for Manny. And Lieutenant Harris was talking to Elias. Oh, by the way, Elias got some action. He down the tunnels. He found a bed on the tunnels, and he saw an enemy person in down the tunnels, and he shoots him. As so, but Elias has came up and he tells Lieutenant, we need engineers to handle this place that has traps and everything. Harris says, we're on the way. Stay here, and I think, we're gonna leave the medic and 2 soldiers with you or something like that. Wait for the engineers, I believe. Barnes and the rest of the guys, they go look for Manny, and they're gonna go see if they can hit a village. They find Manny. He has his shirt off, and he has some kind of a political letter on him or something, and he's dead. He's like on something like Jesus Christ, and everybody's looking at him, and they're all the soldiers there, and they're like Barnes, like those MFs. He's like really mad. Everybody's really mad. Now there's a village there. They're gonna go hit a village and go investigate the village. When Barnes gets there and other soldiers, they find someone in pajamas, black pajamas. Usually, some of the enemy Viet Cong, they dress like regular civilians, and they see this guy running, and they go. There's a guy over there. Sergeant Barnes, and Barnes gets his gun, and that guy in the black pajamas, he shoots him down. Asshole kills him. I said ass, so not the bad word. Ass, and hole. You know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. I didn't say a bad word. Anyways. So they send soldiers to go investigate the guy with the pajamas. They go check him, his clothes and all that. And then you see Bunny with his shotgun. He sees a pig in the village and he goes, here piggy piggy, here piggy piggy. And kills the pig as so. Yes, as so. Okay. Wow, I never found out about that. That actually means that sounds like the bad word. Anyways, they start checking the village. They start finding guns. They start finding rice. Taylor enters a hut with Francis. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Taylor enters a hut with Francis, and there they find. Excuse me one second. There they find a crippled guy with his elderly mother, and he only has 1 foot. They find this guy hiding under a bed, and Chris Taylor's like, come on, get up. And Taylor's like, I'm sick of this. And they find the mother. I think she was hiding too. No. This is the grandma, and this is the guy that only has 1 leg, the Vietnamese disabled guy hopping 1 leg. And then Francis is like, they're scared. And how about me, man? Chris Taylor's like, how about me? He's like, dance. Start shooting he starts hopping on 1 foot. Now Chris Taylor's shooting at him, but he didn't do anything. And then Bunny says, that's the way he's laughing at you because he has a weird laugh, or the weird smile. The disabled Vietnamese guy. And then, but he's like, that's the way he laughs. That's the way the gook laughs. And then Taylor gets Bunny by the arm. It was Bunny. I got there. I'm sorry. It was Bunny the one saying bad things about him also. And then Taylor gets Bunny by the arm, like, come on, let's go. And then Taylor turns around and then hits the disabled Vietnamese village guy in the head. Let me get grandma all the way. Oh, and then Bunny keeps hitting him. Bunny's crazy. Boom, boom. Did you see those brains fall apart? And then this guy's like shivering and all that. Now, this is a part I don't get. I will bring this up. The next scene, you see their grandma. She looks like she's knocked out dead with her eyes open. I did not see Bunny or Chris Taylor hitting the mother. How was she dead? She looks like she's dead. Because Bunny is just pounding on this one-legged guy. Doing this action, he is not hitting the mother. Unless he hit both of them with one stroke when he hit the... But it's only this little part. He couldn't hit both of them with a little part. Because the first blow was like this. He kept going like this. How in the heck did he hit the mother? When did he hit the mother? You guys try to explain to me in the comments if you can. So it appears like they're both dead. And O'Neill's there too. He saw everything too. And so they leave like that. And in that village, they find guns. They find rice. There's a hole with that villagers. And they throw a grenade in there because some of them get out, but there's still some down in there, some hole under rice, whatever, or under hay. They throw a grenade and they blow it up. And then they're interrogated. They get all the villagers, they round them up and they have them sitting down. They're all there. Except for Elias, the medics, and some other troops. They're still over there. Then they have it's like an older guy, something like that. And he's like, he might be the leader of there. And he got, I believe it's Lerner that's questioning them. And they want to know, hey, they're asking this Vietnamese guy, where'd you get the rice and the weapons? They're trying to find the weapon. They're trying to find the enemy. And what happens? Barnes gets this little girl there because they rounded up everybody, remember? And he gets the little girl. He gets the little girl like this. And he's like this. I cockle-doo is a little girl. And then there's another mom. No. No. And then Barnes ends up shooting the mom of the little girl. As so, like this. Oh. And then there's that dad Vietnamese, the one that were interrogating. Nah, they all go crazy. Right, they're all going fanatic because they just shot their mother or the wife as well. And then that's when Barnes is like, I cockadoo, he's gonna kill the little girl, cockadoo. Elias shows up, Barnes. Elias shows up to Barnes. And then he hits Barnes like this in the face with his gun. You ain't no. He's like, kind of like, what are you doing? You just, because you just Elias witnessed he just killed this Vietnamese lady, and then Barnes is like, "This is not your show, Elias." And Elias goes, "You ain't no firing squad, you piece of." And he hits him with a gun. They start fighting. They start fighting, hitting each other like that, and then they separate them. Lieutenant Harris says, "Separate. Stop your fighting. Stop your fighting." And then Elias goes, "So headquarters says to torch this place. So torch this village. So they're gonna torch it, and they take all those people out of there." Yeah, they show that they're all walking. The soldiers are walking out, and then suspected Vietnamese, they have them tied up, and they're taking them. They're taking the kids. They're taking the whole village out, and they burn the village. So they take all the people out of the village. You see them, all the soldiers and everybody, villagers walking out. The next scene, they're gonna show that we're in some kind of base. Elias, you see Elias, Barnes, Harris, and some higher up guy. I guess it's some kind of commander. I think like a colonel or something. And they're talking. And Elias is saying, "Hey, I saw all this go down, and I want to report that Lieutenant Harris witnessed this murdering, that Barnes murdered this innocent villager, supposedly alleged innocent villager." And then that Colonel Howard guy, if he's a colonel, some kind of Howard guy, he says, Sergeant Elias, Staff Sergeant Barnes, you all will both cease fire. But if I see there was an illegal killing, there will be a court martial. But I need every man on the field. They're like, okay. Barnes has his men, like Taylor says, they're divided in half. Some are with Elias and some are with Barnes. With Barnes, his men ask him, they're questioning him, "Hey, are you gonna be court-martialed or what?" And he's like, "Ah." And then Buddy's like, "Hey, O'Neill, don't worry about it. Everything will be fine." It was really O'Neill was asking. There's a scene where Chris Taylor is with Elias and looking at the stars, and Elias says he thinks they're gonna lose that war, and then Chris Taylor's like, "Really, us lose?" And I like the line. He goes, Elias goes, "We've been kicking everybody's butt for the longest time. It's about time we get ours kicked." Elias says that they're up looking at the night sky, and it's night, of course. And Elias says, "I like this place at night." All right, then now they are gonna head out on another patrol, and they're walking out. There's a couple of soldiers on point. They're walking in the jungle, and they get hit. They get hit by machine gun fire. Two of the soldiers immediately go down. Everybody's crazy. I think they're about a platoon force. I think everybody's there. And they're firing and shooting, and the one that's really ready is Chris Taylor. He starts running around, and he asks one of the soldiers, "Who's in front?" They tell him, "Hey, somebody's in front." They goes over there. And then Chris Taylor he's doing a good job shooting. And he says, "Ho Chi Minh." Sometimes he says things about Ho Chi Minh or whatever. Ho Chi Minh's a real NBA. He's shooting. He's trying to help the two hurt men in the front. Chris does, I think it gets to them. He helps them. There's a part where there's an enemy soldier shooting back at him, and then Chris Taylor, and that enemy soldier's in a foxhole, and Chris Taylor throws a grenade, and it falls in the foxhole, and he blows it up, blows up the guy. But there's somebody in a little bunker, spider hole bunker, whatever they call it. And I think they take him out, that bunker. Yeah. And then we got explosions everywhere. And it turns out that Lieutenant Harris is calling an artillery strike, but the artillery is hitting his men. And there's one point that one of his men is shooting like this. He's laying down, and he's like, "Oh no!" And then a bomb comes and hits him, and completely blows him up. There's another guy like, with an explosion. He has the radio man. There's an explosion near him, and his electric backpack, or I'm sorry, he's a radio man. His radio gets hit by shrapnel, and shrapnel gets him back. He goes down. Barnes gets on him and starts taking the shrapnel out of his back. Taking shrapnel on his back like this, and medic! He's getting burned with a shrapnel. Barnes, so they're having a firefight. You got King, he's shooting. He's doing good. Shooting air. He's warning that there's rockets. But it might be artillery fire, it might not be rockets. Excuse me. Then we got Barnes. He goes to Lieutenant Harris that has another radio man, and he hits him with his hat. He hits Lieutenant, or with his cap. He hits him with his cap, like this, as so. And he goes, "You and your messed up artillery fire. You already messing up. You're killing people with your artillery fire. Do you know what you're doing?" So Barnes gets on artillery with a phone. He on the radio man. He's like, check your fire. He's doing the coordinates now. Elias comes up, and he tells Lieutenant Sayers, "I have a plan. He was in another battle by the Drang. They tore us up. I know what to do, how to counteract them. They're gonna try to flank us. Let's I need 3 men." So Barnes gets after him. He's like, "You're gonna go cry to headquarters, doing your own time over here. I'm in charge." And then Elias goes, "You're an a-hole." And then the sergeant and the Lieutenant Harris are like, kind of like, "You got 3 men, take them." Elias ends up taking. They end up taking Taylor. They take Chris Taylor and 2 other soldiers. Oh, Raw's one of them, and the other one's like some Californian, a soldier from California. They go all 3 with her, and so they go. Elias like, "You 3 soldiers, plant yourselves here." The one he took, and then Elias goes, "I'm gonna go more over there, make sure they don't flank us." And Chris Taylor's like, "Can I go with you?" And then Elias is like, "No, I do better by myself. I go faster by myself." So Elias goes more over there some yards to make sure they don't get flanked. And then Elias knows, he goes, "They're coming." I don't even know how he knows he's coming. He tells the 3 soldiers also. So Elias leaves and tells them, "Be ready, they're coming." And sure enough, like a whole bunch of NVA soldiers come out on the trees, or some yards away. And these 3 soldiers are ready for them, and they see them coming, and Chris Taylor and all 3 soldiers start shooting at the women soldiers, and they kill some. And the NVA soldiers run because they are surprised, they're scared off. And they're like, I think it's at the part where Chris goes, "Ho Chi Minh sucks." Oh yeah, "Ho Chi Minh sucks. Blank." But they notice one of the soldiers have gone down, the California soldier, and they have to take him out. And then Barnes comes, and then the soldier Raw tells Barnes like, "Let's get out of here." And then Raw's like, "Hey, Barnes, a whole bunch of gooks came from over there." And he's like, "Get your wounded man and let's go." And then Chris Taylor goes, "But Elias is out there." And then Barnes goes, "Get out, take your wounded man, go. I'll get him." So Taylor and Raw take the wounded man. The one guy wounded was the soldier from California. They take him wounded. Barnes goes to find Elias. Elias is shooting soldiers over there, sliding and shooting them that they're getting flanked. He's surprising them. And then Barnes finds, well, so before I get to that part, let's go back to the scene. They're taking all the wounded men. They're getting back. Barnes had told them earlier, all the group, that they're gonna hook up with another company or whatever. So they're taking off. They're taking their wounded, putting them in Huey helicopters. Now, okay, let's get back with Barnes. Barnes finds Elias, and Elias sees Barnes, and he's like smiling. And then Barnes has his gun like this and sees him and puts his gun down. Elias smiles, and then Barnes has shot Elias with 3 shots. Unfortunately. Barnes makes it to the helicopter with us. The guys take off in the helicopter. They look down, and Chris and Taylor sees Elias. He goes, "They got Elias." Elias is still alive, running, and all the NVA soldiers are after him, and they're shooting artillery. I think it's the American artillery. But the thing is, why are you shooting artillery if they should know there's a helicopters in the area? You're not supposed to do that, right? So that's another mystery. But it is creating drama effect. What's going on? Elias is running in the jungle. The artillery is falling. The American artillery is falling, killing some of the men. There is a gun on the Huey helicopter, and the Huey helicopter shooting down at them. The NBA are shooting back, and they see Elias. He's Elias like this. One is I could show you. He's like this, and he's been shot too many times, and he falls down. They have to leave Elias' body behind, which Elias should be dead now because he's already been shot a whole bunch of times. They get back to base, and Taylor and you could say with the potheads, all his friends are there. Raw, King, all of them are there. Probably Francis. And Taylor thinks that Barnes has killed Elias. And they're saying, well, you don't have any evidence. When he's like, the evidence is the eyes, man. He's like, I when I saw you guys look at Barnes, or I know what you guys were thinking. And they're saying, one of them says, well, I say let military justice handle it. And Taylor's like, screw military justice. And then they're like, I say we frag Barnes' ass tonight. Fragging is something like, for example, if y'all don't know what fragging is, it's like getting a bomb and throwing it into your sergeant's tent and blowing up. They want to do that to Barnes. Somewhat like an assassination, kind of. And then Barnes has been there at the door listening the whole time. They didn't notice. And Barnes is like, he's like, I don't need this crap. I'm talking about their marijuana. And he goes, death, what do you guys know about death? And then Barnes says, I crap all over you guys. He's about to walk away. Chris Taylor goes, you murderer. They start fighting. He starts attacking Barnes, but Barnes gets the upper hand. I think Barnes is a bigger guy than Chris Taylor, and I don't think Taylor is any martial arts expert. Barnes gets a knife. Pretend this is a knife. Barnes gets a knife and puts it at Taylor's head. He's on top of Taylor. And then the soldier Raw comes and goes, no, Barnes, don't do it. You're going to go to jail, and then we're going to be crawling the walls over there in jail. And then he's like, don't do it, Barnes, don't kill him. And then Barnes like scrapes Taylor's eye, and then Taylor's like, ah. And then it ends like that. And then Barnes leaves. And then we got the next scene. They're going to go, they're in Huey helicopters again. They're going to go They're gonna go. They're gonna go. I think they go back. Taylor has a bandage over him. They drop down. When you get, they drop down the Huey helicopters. You see that there's already. I don't know. They have some American companies there. I'll have other soldiers there, and they have some. They have some bad guys that they've caught. They look fairly young Vietnamese. They're bad, and then one of the troops. One of Taylor's guys saying, "Hey, they have these Vietnamese. They had info on everything, and they had maps of where our spider holes are, base it, encampment is everything. It's like it's bad." Um, Taylor goes with King. They're supposed to link up. They're gonna separate these soldiers in certain places in foxholes. Taylor's talking to King, and they're talking about stuff. Uh, Taylor's talking about how Barnes could get away with stuff like that, and they're talking about life. And then Sergeant O'Neill comes and he tells King, "Hey, get your papers. You're ready to go." And then King's like, "Don't mess with me. What? Don't screw with me. What?" He's like, "You're gonna get on that chopper. If you don't get on that chopper, I will." And then King's like, "Hey, man, they King has got his papers to get out," and it goes kind of like King is like, "They cut me short. My time wasn't supposed to come, but I guess they're gonna let me leave." And he goes to Taylor and says they're like saying goodbye to each other. They hug each other, and I like that. King says, "Don't be no fool." He was saying like everything's gravy. Make it out of here. King says, "I can't make that chopper," and then Taylor's like, "I'll walk you out." Um, then O'Neill says, "Hey, Taylor, Francis is gonna join up with you." So he walks King out. The King's like, "Goodbye, you suckers." He's on the helicopter to take him. He takes off. He's lucky. There's another part where we got Junior, Bunny, O'Neill, and Barnes, and it seems like something's going on because Junior's feet is he's injured his feet somehow, and Barnes says, "Oh yeah," and Junior's like, I can't walk," because he hurt his feet on purpose, probably not to fight. Probably so he can be helicopter out. He's scared. And Barnes like, "The next time I catch you putting skeeter repellent on your feet, I'm gonna court martial your ass." And then Junior's like, martial me, mother, you MF. That's the last you get out of Junior. So Barnes is like saying, "Get up and walk. You're gonna fight." And then Barnes is like, "Hey, O'Neill, remember that black you think I'm being racist, but I'm not. That black scorpion. That black scorpion. Let's see if we can put it in Junior's crotch and see if he don't dance." He's like, "Okay, I'll walk. I'll walk." There's a part where also the soldier Raw, they're saying that he's talking to Lieutenant Harris. Lieutenant Harris is saying, he's telling him, well, Ross complained that he don't have enough men. Because Lieutenant Harris is like, "You can take your squad." And then Ross like, it's kind of funny talking about my squad because I hardly have any left of my squad. A whole regiment could run over us. We wouldn't know it, something like that. And then Lieutenant Harris is like, "I don't want to hear complaints. I just don't care anymore." He's like, "You don't care?" And he's like, "I really don't." Okay. It's funny because the soldier Raw is like, he looks like he has shorts on. You have military pants on. They're going to set him up all on spider holes. It's going to be Taylor and Francis, O'Neill, and then Junior with Bunny. O'Neill, I don't know who he's with. He might be by himself. Oh, and there's another funny part that night talking about O'Neill. And Raw's going to be somewhere else, and I don't know. Barnes is going to be somewhere else. And their spider holes or their holes or bunkers, whatever, they're far from each other. There's some yards away, not very close, so they can help each other. So I don't know. Talking about O'Neal, O'Neal approaches Barnes and says, "Hey Barnes, I was hoping you can send me in that chopper with King. I got some R&R coming up, rest and recovery." And then Barnes says, "No, man, I can't do that. I need every man on the here." And then O'Neal, Sergeant O'Neal, complains to Barnes and says, "I'm not asking you for anything, really." And then Barnes gets mad. "No, get in your hole." And then O'Neal slaps his hand on Barnes's chest, and then Barnes is like, "You just slapped my hand on my chest, as the toughest guy." And he goes, "I just got a bad feeling about this. O'Neal says, "I have a bad feeling. I don't think I'm gonna make it out here." Then Barnes says, "We all have to die sometime." So everybody's in their holes, and we now we're back with Taylor and Francis. They're in their holes like that. They're ready to shoot. They see enemy activity coming. Before that, Ross says, "You know what? They're probably gonna send a jet to throw bombs or something. Stay in your freaking your holes. Don't get out." And they're like, "Okay." Ross takes out. He goes, "I'll be back later." Then I think they start shooting something like that. They know the Vietnamese are out there, but an American. Oh, I forgot to tell you, they had sent American platoon before them, and they got hogwashed. I mean, they got destroyed bad. And one of the top brass, I think it was that Colonel I was talking about earlier. He was calling in because there were that platoon. There was a platoon out there, they said, and they said they're taking heavy fire, and then that colonel said, "Just give me your coordinates and I'll send artillery." But he didn't get to send artillery because they were completely destroyed, and it looks like the radio was destroyed. So now we get back, and now this is what I'm talking to. We got Francis and Taylor in their foxhole little bunker there. And then we get a soldier with no unarmed saying, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." He runs into their tunnel. He goes, and he gave him some water. And then he goes, they ain't stopping for crap. Let's get out of here. He's all crazy and everything. They run out. And then Taylor and Francis are shooting. Taylor hits another detonation. They have bombs out there. And they said Rodriguez is holding that nail. So I don't know anything about Rodriguez, but I guess he has a hole out there. Another soldier named Rodriguez got hit. I don't know if Rodriguez was in the hole or not. Then Then Taylor, he starts hitting the detonators because they have bombs out there like before, and he's hitting the bombs. The detonators are out there, and him and Francis start shooting. They start shooting. He's like, hold it. And you hear some Vietnamese like, and then Taylor tells Francis, Taylor gets out of the hole, and Francis, get out of the hole. They're gonna blow the hole. I don't know how Taylor knows they're gonna blow the hole if he doesn't speak Vietnamese. But he takes Taylor. Taylor takes out Francis, and they get out. And it's cool because they have some guy with a rocket launcher, and they have this guy holding a Vietnamese holding these two, and then they have the other guy with a rocket launcher. And they shoot the Vietnamese. They shoot the rocket launcher, and it blows up. It blows up the hole. And like I said, Taylor took took them out. And then when they blow up the hole, Francis and Taylor went to go hide somewhere in the dark. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, it's dark. They have shot some parachutes that have flares that light up the night sky so they could see some. And then these Vietnamese soldiers come and they start banding the hole and they think they're in there or something like that. Then Taylor gets his gun and they start shooting the Vietnamese that are attacking his foxhole. And Francis and Taylor, they're going out and they're like, it's freaking great. They're start shooting everywhere. Then you got Bunny and Junior. Junior is in the hole all scared and everything, and Bunny is killing The battle has started. So Bunny is killing the NVA soldiers that are shooting back, and he's like this. Bunny's like this. Is that all you got? And then Junior is scared and he runs out of the foxhole. Junior runs out of the foxhole and then he hits a tree and he knocks himself out and he's laying beside the tree. And then a Vietnamese comes, stabs him, and right with his gun and with a bayonet on his gun like this, stabs him in the stomach. And then Junior's like, he makes a face like that because he just thought it was in the stomach. We got a lot of action going on. Taylor and Francis are going shooting in the jungle, shooting and all that. O'Neill has dead Vietnamese bodies around him. He gets scared. He gets in his hole, and he goes in his hole, digs down, and he puts a Vietnamese body over him. Vietnamese come and they come look at him. They come look at the hole, and they leave. And O'Neill's still hiding under the corpse. You got Barnes. Now we get to Barnes. Barnes starts out with a rocket launcher. Wait, I didn't forget. You thought I forgot, I didn't forget. Gotta protect my eyes from shrapnel. Barnes shoots his rocket launcher. The explosion. Protect my eyes from shrapnel. So there's a big battle going on. There's a part where Barnes gets on an enemy Vietnamese that's walking away. They shot Barnes' his knees, so Barnes is down, and he gets on top of some enemy that's walking away, and Barnes is like, he gets a shovel or something, starts hitting him. Lieutenant Harris is in the battle. He's like, we're gonna get out of here. Right? There's some really good scenes, man. There's soldiers everywhere. Cause remember, it's just not Taylor's platoon. There's a whole bunch of other soldiers there. The other soldiers, there's Vietnamese running towards them. There's a part where somebody gets shot in the head. There's American soldier shoots a Vietnamese. There's a funny part. There's a really big fat American guy saying, "Hey, where you guys going?" You think it's real dark. He thinks they're American, and all they're Vietnamese. They killed him. There's another U.S. soldier like, my eyes, and that's the one thing that gets shot in the head. There's a part where I really like this part. Who can forget? Vietnamese soldier running with a grenade. He runs into a bunker where they have radio people working on communications. They get blown up. The colonel sees this. I don't know if he's a colonel higher up. He's some higher up guy. And he's gonna call in an airstrike. He goes, and there's a jet coming in, and he says, drop all your. He's like the jet's like with communication on the radio. Like, where do you want me to drop your bombs? He's like, drop the bombs on my pods. Drop them on us. The enemy has this. It's a beautiful war. And the jet fighter's like, yeah, we'll be coming in shortly. They're gonna drop bombs on everybody. Taylor finds Barnes, and Barnes is still beating up this enemy guy. Boom, boom, with his legs messed up. I don't think he can walk that good because the enemy shot him in his knees, and he's hitting the enemy guy. Taylor gets behind him. Behind Barnes, and then Barnes picks up a shovel and drops Taylor and is about to hit him, and then Taylor's like Barnes, and Barnes is about to hit him with a shovel, and then the jet nick of time just drops a bomb and everything gets exploded, and then Barnes goes down. Now we're having to think that Barnes wants to kill. Barnes wants to kill um, Taylor because Taylor. I don't know, because Taylor was on Elias's side maybe, but Taylor doesn't have the evidence to convict Barnes if they get it out of this alive. Anyways, now it's all morning. Taylor gets up. He's all probably kind of burned from the bomb, but he survives. Taylor finds Barnes. I'm gonna say this is Barnes. Barnes is like, "Give me a medic," and then Taylor has his gun. He's like, and then Barnes is like, "Do it." Taylor kills Barnes. There's a vehicle that comes and with soldiers, fresh U.S. soldiers, and ask Taylor, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah." They're gonna take Taylor. And O'Neill's there. He's like, "All these guys left me. He's alive. He made it, but he's all around the dead bodies." You got Francis. He stabs himself on his knee. He's like this. Hits his knee. Oh, stabs his own knee. Man, open it. Oh well, that was too hard. Sorry. You got. I think it's Raw doing something. Is it Raw? Those are Raw. He made it. And he started cutting off ears, and I think he got a pack of smokes from a dead NVA soldier. Uh, they have a bulldozer that's moving dirt and dead NVA bodies. Um, you got Francis and you got Sheen. They're carried off in in gurneys or stretchers, and then Francis says, "Hey Taylor, is that you? We're gonna get high," because Francis stabbed himself with a knife to get some rest or whatever. I think even said we're three timers. I don't know what they get an injury. They may get out of there. They may send him home. I didn't understand that part too much. I know Taylor's been wounded twice. I don't know how many times Francis has been wounded, except for this one. They're gonna take Francis and Taylor's about to go on the helicopter, one of the helicopters, and he sees Raw, the soldier, and Raw goes, and then Taylor's like, and Taylor leaves, and he leaves in the helicopter crying. So it looks like the U.S. soldiers won that battle, even though they lost a lot of casualties. They killed mostly all the NVA soldiers. They did see some prisoners. I did see that when he gets out of the helicopter, there is a big hole where the bomb hit, and they're putting all the dirt and the NVA soldiers and burying them there. All right, that's the end of that's the end of Platoon. But I'll say my final comments. This movie, I'll start off. This movie did win a Academy Award for best film, I believe. The movie it's all good, man. I like it. I like every aspect of the movie. It has a plot, a conflict between the soldiers, conflict with them fighting the NVA, how bad the military life was. They had to be out in the boonies, and not times with no restroom. The firefights were great. I especially like the end where they're just not the platoon's just not there. They're with another company, and they have a whole NVA. I'm sorry, I should have said there was a whole bunch of enemy. There was an NVA regiment. They're fighting a whole bunch of Vietnamese soldiers. But I think you would get it when I told you there was a bunch of dead bodies. That means they were attacked by a whole NVA, and there was more NVA than there was American troops. And I liked in the Huey helicopters. I like guns. I like bazookas. I like the radio. The village was kind of dramatic, but that was pretty cool. The crippled guy and the old lady, I forgot to mention, you actually, if you see real closely, I missed this part. When they killed them, like when they got out of the village there, you see the bodies under the hut, went outside from the hut. It's like the hut you can still see in the bottom, and the disabled guy and the mother, they're in that there. You can see the actually see the dead bodies under the hut from the outside. Watch that part when they're leaving. I think that's the part where they show it. I've seen this movie like 100 times, and I rarely saw that part. Um, I really love this movie. I don't know what to say. I love that when they shoot the Huey helicopters. I like when they shoot the guns. The guns on the Huey helicopters. They shoot out of it. I had a video game that did that. I'm like, they finally did that. You know. Um, but the big battle at the end, that was really cool. The first battle they had, that was really cool. The middle battle, that was all the battles are cool. I guess I like the whole entire movie. Let's just put it that way. Barnes shooting the bazooka, that was awesome. That was cool. Charlie Sheen mustered up his courage to shoot the enemy soldiers. Excuse me. The platoon was divided in half. Half with Elias, half with Barnes. Um, the jet coming down, raining down the bombs. The conflict within the soldiers. I already mentioned that. Um, the storyline's great. Bunny was one of my favorite characters. He was crazy, and he was one of the bad soldiers, but he was crazy. I liked him. O'Neill was funny. Johnny Depp was one of the. I think it was Lerner, one of the interpreters. Uh, and I know there's more, but that's all I can remember now. Boy, that went long. I'm sorry. If you went this long, thank you for watching. Some people don't like long reviews, but it's because I did a long review because I know this movie very well. The movies I don't know very well, they go short. So I better end it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you like my videos. I'm gonna leave you with this. But if you also, I'll leave you with, if you have not seen Platoon, watch it. If you have seen it, I hope you like my opinions I gave about this movie. I better end it already. I already went a long time. But I'll say I absolutely love this movie. I recommend you see it if you have not seen it. So I'm gonna end it with this. The world will never be a perfect place, but we can all make it. We can all make it better. Till next time, my name is Alberto, aka Destroyer 48, and I will see you in the next review. Bye bye.